Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a spiritual text called Basics of Meditation. Now, this book claims to have a path to not just quiet your mind, but to totally transform your reality. So let's walk through its core ideas together and see what it's all about. So, right off the bat, the text taps into something I think we all know a little too well, that restless mind. The constant internal chatter that just never seems to stop. It frames this as a universal starting point, not some personal flaw. And right away, it says the solution isn't some big, complicated secret. Nope. It lays out a simple, direct path that starts with just one single action, but it promises that this action leads to way more than just silence. So, what is this simple first step? Well, the text calls it meditation. And this idea? It's the absolute foundation for everything else that's going to follow. Okay, so what is meditation according to this text? It's not some mystical ritual. It's pretty straightforward. It's the act of silencing that mental noise by focusing on the one thing you're always doing anyway, breathing. That's it. No special techniques, just your normal, natural breath. So how exactly are you supposed to do this? The text doesn't just leave you hanging. It gives a very specific, named technique to follow. The technique is called anapanasati. It's an ancient term from the Pali language, and the name itself is basically the entire instruction manual. Ana is the in-breath, apana is the out-breath, and sati means to be one with it. Simple as that. And the method itself? It's broken down into 4 incredibly simple steps, all designed to make it easy. First, you sit down, any way that's comfortable for you. Then, you clasp your hands. You close your eyes to block out distractions. And that final, crucial step is to just be with your breath, gently pushing away any thoughts that try to sneak in. What's really interesting here is how clear the text is about what this practice isn't. It's not about adding things like chanting mantras or visualizing stuff. The whole point is to subtract the distractions. And you're definitely not supposed to hold your breath. The goal is simply what it calls an effortful, joyful oneness with your own natural breathing. Okay, so this is where we see how that one simple action becomes the first step on a much, much bigger journey. The text frames meditation not as the finish line, but as the starting block for a really profound transformation. And here's the roadmap the text lays out. It all starts with meditation. That practice is said to lead to enlightenment, a deeper kind of understanding. From there, you gain true awareness of reality. And that finally leads to a state the text calls life zest. Each step just naturally flows from the one before it. And the benefits it claims you'll get? They're huge. The text suggests this path can actually heal diseases, sharpen your memory, and even mean you need less sleep. But it's not just about you. It claims your relationships get better and you finally understand your real purpose in life. This all builds up to that final stage, life zest. What a great term, right? It's described as the point where life just stops being a struggle. It becomes, and I'm quoting here, absolutely dynamic and miraculous, with this natural, easy flow of giving and receiving. So you might be wondering, how is any of this even possible? Well, according to the text, this whole path, from the first breath in meditation all the way to life zest, it's all built on a foundation of what it calls spiritual laws. This is its framework for how reality actually works. The text lays out 6 of these fundamental laws that are supposed to govern everything, from consciousness and reincarnation to how we progress through life. It's a whole cosmic system. But it also says, hey, if you're a beginner, there's really only one you need to focus on first. And that one law is the law of karma. The text presents this as the master key, the one thing you need to understand to unlock all the so-called mysteries of life and human situations. The whole principle gets boiled down to that ancient saying, as you sow, so you reap, which the text actually attributes to Jesus Christ. It's this core idea that for every single action, there's an equal and opposite result. And here's the absolute crucial point. The link is direct. Our thoughts, our words, our actions, they aren't just random. They are the causes that create the effects we experience as our reality and our destiny. According to this, we are literally creating our future right now in every moment. Okay, so then the text takes this big cosmic law and gets really specific, really practical. It argues that eating animal flesh creates a heinous karma, and it says the single most important first step you can take to deal with negative karma from the past is to become a vegetarian. This quote is used to really drive the point home. From the perspective of the law of karma, things aren't just random injustices or tragedies. No, they are the fair and direct results of actions from the past, whether it was in this life or a previous one. And to describe our own internal world, the text pulls out this quote from John Milton. The idea here is powerful. Heaven and hell aren't places you go to, they're states of mind that we create for ourselves, right here and right now, based on our own actions. So, where does all of this lead? Well, it all builds up to the text's ultimate conclusion, which is all about personal power, taking responsibility, and learning how to actually change your own reality. In the end, the text boils its entire philosophy down to these two huge steps for achieving what it calls freedom from the chain of karma. Step 1, become a vegetarian. Step 2, practice intense meditation, which it claims will dissolve all our bad karma. And this brings us to what might be the most empowering message in the whole text. We are not victims. We are not just being tossed around by circumstance. It says there's no outside authority, not a person, not a god, not random chance, that's in control. We are the authority. We are the architects of our own destiny. And so, the text leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. It's a challenge, really, to live your life not as a follower, a disciple, but as a master, the creator of your own experience, starting today. And that's our look into the basics of meditation.